is an Obeah Woman? That's the name of her book, and it's full of
Yeah.
her illustrations. So what would Anastasia tell us about the Obeah Woman?
Well, I mean, if I go by the story Mother Dora in her book, the Obeah Woman was basically the woman that she was like the second mother to everybody in the community, particularly in there in Trinidad, like the village situation it is. If you had a problem, you went and go see the Obeah Woman, whether it was something to be fixed herbally, fixed psychically, fixed spiritually, or just some good old advice. She was basically your second mother, that someone you could that would listen to you, ear for a shoulder for you to cry on. She was basically the mother of the community, and that's where my mother got the character Mother Dora in her book Obeah Woman. As far as, basically she's going around helping most of the people in the community. The story gets more complex than that, of course, but that's the gist of the Obeah Woman. She was basically the woman that you'd come to whenever you had a problem that, couldn't be solved.
The Obeah Woman by Anastasia the Phoenix Armourer. Chapter 6. Early Monday morning, the ringing of the telephone roused Dora out of a deep sleep. She hurried to put on her robe and ran downstairs to answer it. Hello. Mother Dora, come quick. This is Ingrid, at the restaurant. It's unbelievable, Mother, we are overrun by mice. They are everywhere, thousands of them. Calm down, Ingrid. Where are you now? I'm across the street at Mr. Wright's butcher shop. I can't go in the restaurant, Mother, the mice are everywhere. All right, Ingrid, you stay where you are and I will be right there. Dora hung up the phone and quickly returned to her bedroom. This is the work of Kokaka. She thought to herself as she quickly changed her clothes. So, she has found a way to get to me because of Shanka. Well, it took me 10 years to build up my restaurant to this point where it is making a good profit, and I am not going to allow her to destroy my business. After she changed her clothes, Dora took her basket and got into her truck. She has had this old Ford truck for over 10 years, and everyone in the village knew that the big yellow truck belonged to Mother Dora. She drove as fast as possible along the main road that led to Street James. As she drove, she became more angrier at Kokaka. It was about 7 a.m. when Dora pulled her truck up to her restaurant called the 14 Carrots. Ingrid ran out of the butcher shop to greet her. Oh, Mother Dora, I'm so glad you are here. I have never seen anything like this in my whole life. It's all right, girl, just calm down. Dora slowly walked over to the window of the restaurant and looked in. The mice were everywhere. They covered all the tables and counters. She couldn't even see the floor. Dora walked to the door. Don't go in there, Mother. Ingrid intercepted her and held onto her tightly. It's all right, Ingrid. You stay out here and I will be just fine. Dora opened the door and walked inside. The mice on the floor scrambled to move away from her feet. She moved slowly from the main hall of the restaurant into the kitchen. The mice were eating everything in sight. She could feel the presence of the evil spirit that controlled the creatures emanating from the pantry. Dora enhanced her spiritual shield by drawing the white light of the universe into her aura. The pantry was glowing red, as though it was on fire. She moved closer, and stood in the doorway. The mice were pouring out of the room. Who are you? Asked Dora, as she stared into the red light. Suddenly, a deep masculine voice laughed in a low chilling tone. Ha 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 ha. What do you want here? Asked Dora angrily. I have what I want, said the voice, a new place to dwell with my family. Ha ha ha. This is my place, and you are not welcome here, Dora shouted. The noise from the screeching mice rose higher, as they piled on top of each other, scrambling to move away from where Dora was standing. Ingrid ran back to the butcher shop. Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright. Come quick. Mother Dora went into the restaurant with all the mice, and I can't see her anymore. Alan Wright was a big man, about 6'3" and 260 pounds. He was a very strong, very dark man with piercing eyes. His demeanor was that of someone who could handle anything. His assistant Thomas looked like his brother, they were so much alike. The two men walked across the street to the restaurant and looked into the window. They could hardly believe their eyes. "My God!" exclaimed Alan as he stood at the window looking at the mice inside. "Mother Dora is in there?" asked Thomas in disbelief. "Yes, she is," said Ingrid. The young woman was very afraid. "I tried to stop her, but she went in anyway. You must help her." The men looked at each other and then turned again to look at the mice. "I have never seen anything like this in my entire life," said Alan. "What can we do?" asked Thomas, looking to his boss Alan for the answer. "Well, we can open the doors and take some pans from the butcher shop, bang them together and chase the mice out of the restaurant. Then, we can find Mother Dora and bring her out." Alan was sure that this was the best way to handle this situation. Dora stood in the doorway of the pantry, as she confronted the evil spirit. "This is my place now, Dora," the voice yelled at her from the pantry. "You forfeited when you interfered in Kokaka's business with Shanka. He had an agreement with her. Now you must pay for the broken contract." "I don't owe her, or you, a damn thing. Now get your ass and your vermin out of here," Dora shouted back at the evil spirit in anger. Suddenly, a loud noise of pots banging came from the main dining room. It was Alan and Thomas trying to scare away the mice. Ingrid peered at them through the window. At first the mice ran in every direction, but suddenly, without warning, they turned and jumped on the men by the hundreds. The two men screamed and swung wildly with their arms as the mice ate their flesh. Ingrid screamed as she ran away from the restaurant. Dora knew what was happening, but she could not help the men. She simply could not turn her back on the evil spirit. "I know you, demon," said Dora as she stared into the red light. "You are Visago," she shouted. Upon hearing his name, the demon appeared in the red light. He was an old man riding on a crocodile. "I'm not going anywhere." He threw his head back and laughed at Dora as she reached into her basket. She knew just what was needed to get rid of this particular demon. She took out a bottle filled with a red powder. It was dragon's blood. She poured some of the powder into her hand. "Begone, Visago, and never return. I banish you with the blood of the dragon and send all of your evil vermin away with you." With these words, Dora threw the powder at the demon. The demon screamed as his large crocodile went into a spin and flew off into another dimension. A great wind followed them, sucking all of the mice into the portal. Dora backed away from the door of the pantry, as she held tightly to her basket to keep it from being sucked into the portal. After a few minutes, it was over, and the portal closed. The pantry was normal again, and all that was left of the mice were their droppings, which were everywhere. After anointing the walls of the pantry with blessed olive oil, Dora walked into the main dining room to find the two men with the flesh eaten off of their bodies. The gruesome scene upset her terribly, as she looked down at the remains of the men who came to help her. Dora pulled herself together, and walked over to the phone in the hall to call the police. "Hello, officer, my name is Dora Van Hart, and I am the owner of the 14 Carrots restaurant here in Street James. Please send a car out at once. 2 men have been killed." "How were they killed?" asked the officer. "They were eaten alive by mice." "They were what? Is this some kind of a joke?" The young officer could not believe his ears. "This is no joke, sir. Please send someone at once." Dora was still very upset when she hung up the phone, so she decided to wait for the police outside. She did not have long to wait for them. They came with sirens blasting and lights flashing. As they pulled their squad cars and ambulances up the curb in front of the restaurant, they saw that the entire restaurant was covered in mice droppings, but no mice could be found anywhere. The officers could not believe their eyes. After the bodies were removed, the police closed and sealed the restaurant for further investigation. Dora had to tell her story again at the police station. When it was all over, she got in her truck and headed back to Simeon village. Dora was very worried about Shanka. She knew that Kokaka still wanted revenge on him and his family, so she drove her truck straight to Shanks's house. When she arrived, she found Edna washing clothes and putting them on the line at the back of the house. "Hello, Edna," said Dora, as she walked up behind the big woman. Edna spun around in surprise. "Oh, hello Mother Dora, how are you today?" "I'm fine, and how is Gloria doing?" "Oh, she be good mother, no more problems at all, it is as if nothing ever happened." Dora smiled at Edna's happiness, then asked, "Where is Shanka?" "Oh, he left early this morning. I don't know where he went. He seemed very upset last night, you know. He wouldn't say what was wrong, but Gloria and I knew that something was bothering him. We know he still feels so bad about the contract with Kokaka, but you know Gloria, she forgave him for that. But it seemed like something is still eating away at that poor man's soul." Dora could sense that something was very wrong here. She had to see Shanka, and talk to him before he made another foolish mistake. "Well, Edna, I must be going, but I want to see Shanka, so tell him to wait for me. I will return this evening at about 6 p.m. to see him." "Yes, Mother, I will tell him as soon as he comes home. Now I must see Gloria for a few minutes, then I must be going." "Yes, Mother. She's inside, just go on in, she will be glad to see her." Dora left Edna to her washing, and went into the house to visit with Gloria for a while.